Ah, the French. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be with y'all today. Good to see you, Kit. Good to see you, Mel. Good to see you, K-Max. And Kit, congratulations. You won the Crown of Furstendom. The Crown of Rot, but not like bad rot, but like the cute rot from this game. The cute little chubby spirits that are helping us. And thank you, Mel, for the 19-month resub. Thank you so much for the support. And Maha, the French indeed. Just before hitting the booth camera button to switch to this view, I had a funny thought. What if for April Fools, what if I did a stream that was just the going live screen? Like, full 2 hours with the music, with just the slide sync. Father Evan will be live soon. I won't actually do it, but the thought of it made me laugh, and I had to share that with you. But I hope you're doing well today, and I hope you're having a good Mardi Gras, enjoying some good food, maybe some festivities. Don't know if you have Carnival where you are. We're making pancakes in the parish tonight, so I've got that. I'm making pancakes, I should say. So I've got that lined up right after this. But yeah, so I think that's everything. So let's go ahead. Let's dive on into more Kena Bridge of Spirits. I have wonderfully devious thoughts. Thank you. That's probably why I have this as a sound effect.
Ah, the French.
Okay, so last time we were introduced to our hero, Kena. She said it once and I don't remember. We also have our friends, the Rot. I don't know why they're called that, though. They're too adorable to be called Rot. And we're looking to help a spirit named Taro, who's having a rough go of it, and we found his two younger siblings, who are also spirits, and then we came here, we found this, the owl dude who was like, I will help, and he showed us some things, like how to... Nope, not that. Like that. He taught us how to make a bow out of our staff. A bow staff, if you will. Yes, and this is the last Candy Wheel day. Get in quick. DJ G, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Hey, Lurk. Hey, Lurk. Thank you for the Brit. No, wait. Hey, Brit, thank you for the Lurk. I don't remember what we were supposed to do. We got a knife of this dude. Meet Rusu in the Forgotten Forest. Okay, so that's probably where we're supposed to go. You got to hug Brit. Hey, that's awesome. Hey, you got to hug Melanie. Look, that's awesome. Not to brag, but bragging. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so I need to find a way back down across the server. So I guess if I go down here, so behind me. Gotta get a snack for these little guys.
Yo. See that over there? All right.
God bless Crash for bringing bourbon. Good job, Crash. I'm doing well. I mean, Mardi Gras hasn't really started in a weird way because it's just been a normal day. But tonight, I'm making pancakes. We're having a Mardi Gras party at the parish. What button was it? That's the button. Mage Against Machine. That's a great name. Thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Okay. So if I follow this path and I hang to the left, I should be able to get to where I'm going. Ah. Hey, JM. A big breakfast at work today. Nice. Pancakes, eggs, bread, bacon, sausage. Nice. Oh. One of my favorite breakfast foods that's very hard to get in America is black pudding. Just celebrate February birthdays. Nice. Seems like a good way to put them together. Okay, so we need all 3 relics to summon Taro. You know, I just played this last week, but I feel like I have forgotten all the controls. Every day I'd make Irish breakfast, he'd include black pudding. Nice. Yeah, that's where I got introduced to it. Is I spent a week in Ireland, and one morning the priest that was hosting my group made us an Irish breakfast. That's when I was introduced to it, and I love it. Hey there, Hope. Ow. Black parade, black pudding. When I was a young pud. This place which sells Irish food and snacks nearby, which is pretty cool. Ooh, nice. Whoop. Spooky monster time. Ow. Very awkward, tight area. Fight this dude. Can't believe it's already Tuesday, and only Tuesday. Yeah. I have been feeling much better, thank you. Unfortunately, it was just one of those things where it's like, you know, you sleep on your neck funny and it gives you a really bad headache. and then you're also just really tired and exhausted from work, and it's just a series of knock-on effects, and it's like, ugh. I'll gladly pay you to stay for a hamburger today. Well, you're clearly talking about next Tuesday. Wait, this is just where I came from. I'm getting turned around and lost. Okay, so this is the way to the cart? Okay, so yeah, so I need to go this way, I guess? But I can't go this way because it's all closed off. I did see that there's a sequel. I have not actually had a chance to watch the trailer, but I know there is a sequel. Good to see you, Step Zero. Hope you're doing well. I guess let's go back to the too far from Warp Shrine. Oh, I need to be... Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because maybe there's a way in from the village. Or maybe that's what I'm looking for. We did it.
No one knows the true age of these shrines. The people who built them have long been forgotten, but their work still remains, watching over the forest like ancient guardians. Taro's spirit has corrupted the shrines and sealed the entrance to the Guardian Tree. I can feel Taro's presence there. I've marked the shrine locations on your map.
Thank you, Rusu. I'll work to clean the shrines.
Thought I saw another lantern. Maybe not. You know, since we can warp, why don't we go deliver some spirit mail? Barkadoo! My deacon is president mass holds the chalice during elevations to have the priest doing it. I've seen another priest hold the chalice. When it's kind of celebrating priest, but it's same. That's less frequent. It gives me the same question. Yeah, so that happens during the doxology. Through him, with him, and in him, O God, Almighty Father, in the unity of the Holy Spirit, all glory and honor is yours forever and ever. It's a hymn of praise to God, and it is the moment of showing the sacrifice to the Father. And so it's the duty and role of the priest as the celebrant to show that, but it's the duty as of the deacon as he is the minister of the cup to present that in that moment. A con-celebrating priest can also fulfill that function because all priests are deacons by nature of ordination, but it is not required. No, I mean, it's the elevation during the doxology, so it is an elevation. So you're all good there. I was using that as like context of like the what is happening. And it's one of those things that we see a lot in like some of the earliest examples of Eucharistic liturgies. So it has long-standing tradition. Ah, there we go. Hey, we helped the spirit move on. Why is Deacon Minister of the Cup? That is a very ancient thing, so it's not like there's a, oh, well, this is the papal document that describes it sort of a thing. But that is the duty of the deacon in the liturgy when it comes to distribution of the Eucharist. From very early on, and we can see that deacons had a role in the early church, actually, of taking communion, particularly in Rome, of taking a piece of communion from the Pope's mass and taking it to the various churches and mingling it with the elements there. It's called the fermentum, and it actually lives on today. Whenever at mass a priest takes a piece of the host and breaks it into the chalice. But yeah, it's just that is a key duty of deacons is administering the cup. Those rocks are glowing. I wonder if I can shoot him. I can't shoot him. It doesn't do anything. Deacons had the job of bringing chalice to people who were sick. Yeah. Well, bringing communion in general, but... How does that role come into play when every parish distributes the precious blood, even pre-COVID? Well, this is something dating back to the early church. So, you know, practiced in Rome when there were only a few churches. But it's one of those things that managed to stay sort of in the memory and the identity, and it is something reflected upon in the prayers of ordination. Is that a ladybug hat? We can put a ladybug hat on our rot. Have we started the candy barrage? Kit keeps threatening it, but no one's redeemed it yet. Also good to see you, Bad Roxy. But I thought I just... Oh, there we go. Ah, there's a cane spin from Bad Roxy. I know Love was threatening because she said she had like 8 redeems. Oh man, we just had those yesterday. Roxy, can I have a musk stick instead? I'll let you have a musk. I'll let you choose the musk stick or that. You're doing candy after Lent. Yes? That's not compromise. A bite of each, hey Trekkie. Y'all have interesting definitions of compromise. Anyway, here's... You maintain that the candy should remain? Yeah, but I'm giving you an opportunity to build up points and have fun with it.
That up?
Yeah. So there's a wood shrine, water shrine, fishing shrine. Looks like there's a artifact of Taro. Eat the pepper with the musk. Remember when I used to do this for bits? Yeah, I'm helping you with your Lenten penance by giving you an opportunity to give up inflicting the punishment of your candy on me. I was dodging there. Weird little moth thing. It's a flavor explosion. Excuse me, sorry. I was, oh no, the pepper. Oh, no! Oh, the pepper taste is just like, oh. It's always a surprise. And I know it's there, but it's still a surprise. It's the worst kind of surprise. I forgot what the lock-on button is. Ow. Oh, is it currently half on Steam? Nice. Reading He Leadeth Me. Nice.
Melting snow from the mountain shrine feeds these streams. The waters here are sacred.
pepper in their candy. I mean, apparently the Turkish people do, but still. It's like smoky and oh. Oh. Cosmin man. No. Isn't that a character in a TNPG song? Right next to Triangle Man? And Gale. Well... Hey, Quacksplat. Who came up with Person Man? Yes, thank you! Hit in the head with a frying pan. Received a free sewing machine? That's pretty cool. Absolutely, Quack. What's your question? Mm-hmm.
There.
How about giving up arguing on social media? Okay.
Right there.
You're likely to fall fairly often, you think? Well... if we thought we'd succeed... if we only did things that we thought we would succeed at, we'd never do anything.
There.
Yeah, I think, well, beyond just picking up and continuing on, I think taking some time for self-reflection, say, hey, how did that happen? What led me into that? What do I need to pay attention to? And some, time of prayer, like, okay, this is something I want to move away from, and, asking God for the grace to do better.
The guardian tree was burnt out by fire, but it lives on. Its roots run deep, connecting it with the ancient shrines. Clean the shrines, and the door will open.
Accountability partners can help a lot when we're trying to quit things, too.
Ah, the French.
Thank you for the gift sub to Brayherd. A few years ago, you gave up complaining, but I almost cut myself almost always cut yourself midstream. Yeah, but catching yourself is better than doing nothing at all. Oh, is there an outstanding candy spin? There is. Oh, dear. You just took your FE exam. Yeah, you've earned a nap. I hope you did well. That is a big test. I almost had to take it. Maybe a little scrupulous? I don't think scrupulous is quite the word I'd use. I think more... well... no, I think you have some legitimate concerns, but I think, unfortunately, the way our brains work. You know, we can. Turns out, our minds can be self-defeating sometimes. You get to pick? That's not how the wheel works. Besides, this is funnier because this is what I almost got last time. I was like, oh, which one should I have, Rex? And she was like, both. Well, now I have to have both, so this is funnier. I will have this much of a musk stick, which is a couple of bites. It looks like bubble gum. It smells like perfume. It tastes like perfume. It goes stale. It was much more like... much softer.
The French.
Step Zero, thank you for the 5 gifted subs to Stella, JM, Just Learning Hope, Zeno, and Elaine. What does it taste like? It tastes like musk. It literally tastes... It's like floral, herbaceous, and bitter.
The French.
And Trekkie, thank you for the Prime sub. Getting in on that hype train. Okay, so it seems like getting to the point of where we were last time was very linear. And now the game is just like, I don't know, you figure it out. Which I don't mind, for the record, but it's a very sudden shift. The thing about the musk sticks is I almost like them. Like, they still belong on the wheel, but there's just something about them where it's like, I kind of see what the Australians are cooking here. Okay, we're not allowed to get hit. Or something. Or we have to defeat the enemies, I guess. What? How am I supposed to defeat one of these in 30 seconds? Nope, nope, no. Oh, we were so close. Oh, and another candy spin, conveniently from Kevin the Reader. Interesting. Let me reattempt this first. Okay, we got lots of time. Yeah. Name for the weak spot? That's easier said than done. Yeah, we got a candy spin. And yes, Chrysostom's Paschal homily is 15 out of 10. Fall Festival Candy Corn. We're hitting just all sorts of great highlights today. To remind you, the flavors here are kettle corn, caramel apple, cotton candy, lemonade shake-up, strawberry funnel cake, and lemon lime snow cone. I'm just gonna get a mix of them. Which color? I'm missing one color here. Hold on. Kettle corn. I'm missing kettle corn. Pinecone, pinecone, pinecone. Oh no. Oh. Already, the smokiness of both the deep fried, the funnel cake, and the popcorn, just like, I haven't been into it. It's buttery, it's smoky, it's salty, it's sweet, and none of those are working together. Those are things that can work together. They are not work. Oh. Okay. Do not kill yourself. I'm not. It's just. It's a lot. Okay, it looks like this is a timed thing. Yep. Bad moths. Don't sneak up on me like that. Custard death. Fair flavored candy corn. Yeah. It's... Oh, there's a lot of homilies from church fathers. Okay, is this like an order thing? Like, am I supposed to shoot these in the correct order to open up this flower? All these pillars look the same. Are you using the homilies of Newman? Nice. Newman was a great writer. I have some books of his.
All right.
Ah, like, this can't just be a dead end. That would be a really weird dead end. But there is a way to fall out of the tree. Oh, that looks ominous. Does that look ominous to you, chat? I'm gonna grab a screenshot. That looks wonderfully welcoming. To quote Bubsy, no, that's okay. We don't need to.
Over there.
Yeah, video games. We'll play with friends and family, but that's it. I think that's a good way to do it. You know, don't let your fast kind of be imposed on others, if that makes sense. So if I gave up video games for Lent, though, I'd be out of a job. Actually, I wouldn't be out of a job, but I'd just be out of the main thing I do for ministry right now. Yeah, let's do the game. Keep up video games for Lent. 9 gaming streams for 40 days. Become a just chatting streamer. Ow! There's nowhere to heal around here. No! Okay, well, at least it spawned me back here, so that's not too bad. This be the 9 millionth religious podcast. No, I'm good. Are you serious? Let's give him non-essential purchases for Lent. I just want to tell you the definition and application of essential shifted a lot that year. Yeah. Maybe that'd be a good one to revisit, though. Okay, who threw that spear? Was it you? Ow! Sir! Maybe I should dodge the explosions. Ah, that's what I'm doing wrong. This is brutal. This is kind of a tight little combat section. Oh, I think that's... Oh, okay. See, I didn't see this monkey over here. I think that's where a lot of these purple spears have been coming from and throwing me off. Oh, and there's a healing flower over there. That is actually huge. No! No! Oh, the geometry there. That was rough. Oh no. There's another purple monkey around. Where? Ah, ow. Whew, we did it. What's more Souls-like than dodging on a cliff? I don't know. I've never played a Souls game. Thought this was a 3D Zelda-like. No, it's really more of a Souls-esque. Candy spins have arrived. Hey, love, how you doing?
Some believe the shrines represent guardians of the forest. From up here, it's easy to imagine them watching over the land.
And there's one spin from love. And 2 spins from love. Okay, first spin is Clove Pastille. And your second spin. Spin to win. Yeah, no, this is just spin. This is just spin. Oh, Clove Pastille and Violet Mint at the same time. You'll just do 2 at a time. I appreciate the mercy. Clove Pastille. I brought up the violet candy, and apparently my coworker really likes these. I had never heard of them before. Rotata. Happy Mardi Gras. Oh, these looks like a medicine almost. Divis, I don't think so. That actually almost works. But it's also still weird. But Rhoda. The disciples in Mark are shown to not be terribly bright. As a kind of repeating theme. And we see that today when they're like, oh, we only have one loaf. And Jesus is like, don't have the leaven of the Pharisees. And they're like, oh, it's because we only brought one loaf. It's like, no, guys. You saw him feed several thousand people. And the leaven is in your heart. Hey, little monster. You always feel it when Jesus says things like that. Yeah. But I think the invitation, is quite fitting for us on the cusp of Lent. And you'll hear more about this tomorrow in my Rota, I imagine. But not just asking what do we give up, but why do we give it up? And inviting ourselves to go deeper in our hearts. I see Jesus doing a facepalm. Yeah, it does feel that way. Oh, you stupid Galatians. Yeah, that's a good line from Paul. This is making the violet taste almost like cinnamon, which is weird. Or what it's doing is it's making the whole panoply taste kind of like a clove Necco wafer. Violet latte last week. Oh, if I liked coffee, maybe I'd like that.
There are several worn fishing baskets here. A simple design, but effective.
Wow, we got a little memory. Taro fishing with his little siblings. Oh, hello. There's something up there. See, I keep getting moths, but this just loops, like, as soon as I defeat these moths. I need to do something to open this flower. Use mothballs. Fair enough. We'll come back to the fishing shrine. Let's go there at the water shrine.
This leads to the Lantern Cave. A relic must be there. But we'll need something powerful to break through.
Like a relic? You found the answer. Am I doing it wrong? Is it a particular order? And another candy spin. Particular order is rather unintuitive. It really is Fat Tuesday. It's Sugar Tuesday. How many have I done today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Wait, what was that one? I already forgot. Pine cones? It was not pine cones. Licorice Bastille. Thank you, Step Zero. I knew it was one of the pastilles. I just couldn't remember which one. Larry, Moe, and Curly. Nice. That is a reference right there. On the middle of the platform, when you shoot the pillars, use your shield thing and light the candles. What? Oh. Oh, that's... Oh, that's bad after everything else. Oh no. Oh. Oh, it's like licking a tire. Oh. Oh. Woo! Need something to wash that flavor out? No, this will wash all flavors out eventually. It's just violet and licorice together. Oh, it's a flavor combination of all time.
Over there.
What am I doing with these stones? Okay, they can't carry it across the water. There's another one over here. I like licorice, but like, man, this is a flavor combination. It's just, oh. Of course I need the blue Pikmin. Well, it worked. So... the only way out is through. The only way to diabetes.
These shrines were built on places of power. Their stones are buried deep, connected to the flow of energy beneath the ground.
Okay, so it's just the fishing shrine left. And then we should be able to get into the secret tree. I'm all for brilliant. Diabetes. Diabetes 80% speed run. That's bad.
Right over there.
See, Trekkie's hip with the kids. Ah. You know, I was kind of looking forward to a chocolate chip pancake tonight. Since I'm making the pancakes, you know, I don't really get to, like, partake of the party and, like, enjoy the pancakes for the most part. So I was going to make one for myself before the party got started. And I was looking forward to it, but now I'm like... maybe not. What game do you think you could most realistically try to speedrun? Honestly, probably Donkey Kong Country 2. It is one of my favorite games, and I can do a lot of it pretty well. I don't know, like, the speed tech strat, but I feel like I could do 102% better than any percent. Love is for Team 2. More candy spins. Thank you, Love. Let's do it again. It's like the time warp. Oh, we got a deer hat. That's adorable. Oh, you can't see it. Holiday jelly beans. See, Father, haven't eaten bad candy? Want to see it again? Pulparindo. And holiday jelly beans. Should add Pepto to the wheel? No, I should just have a thing of Pepto on standby. We did almost have Pinecone. I'm glad you didn't notice. Anyway, holiday jelly beans and an extra picante, extra spicy pulparindo. I will pass on the candy cane for now because that just tends to overpower literally everything, and you know, it's no fun at that point. But this is hot chocolate, eggnog, pumpkin pie, and an extra spicy tamarind candy. The candy that started it all? No, the candy that started it all was the fall candy corn. Oh. Oh. Spicy and eggnog are not flavors meant to go together. Please have plenty of water, don't worry. The hard part about this is the texture difference between a jelly bean and a hard candy. Kingdom Hearts 2 Critical. The speedruns of that are really interesting to watch. Okay, so there's something about... Oh! I see it. See the candles? So there's one there. There's two in that corner. And then 3 and 4.
Children in Taro often fished in these streams. In the stillness of the forest, I can almost hear their voices.
Taro and his siblings felt safe in these woods. You taught them well, Rusu.
Rusu, you can still talk to the twins. Like, you've seen them. Speedrun Castlevania? Like a classic Castlevania or a Metroidvania Castlevania? Sprout Captain. Ow. He is armored. Ow! I feel like if I can hit one of those glowing weak points... Okay, didn't remove his armor, but... Is there a healing flower? I need a healing flower. Why is there not a healing flower? Soden? Mecha Richter does some speedruns of Soden. Okay, so there's no healing here. Ow! That was dodge rolling? Have I ever played KH2 on crit or level 1? No. I think I tried Worth My Sleep on crit once and could not get past the first boss. And I've never attempted the level 1 run. I'm not very good at games, as you might notice. Ow. Oh, I thought maybe I'd get a parry there, but apparently my timing wasn't good enough. Definitely fine at games. Well, thank you for that vote of confidence, K-Max, but self-deprecating humor is still my bread and butter. Ow. Ow. This is not the run. I'd love if my rot could do anything. Oh, his reach is insane. Ow. I was dodge rolling. Wait. Wait, my rot could almost do something. I had a prop for just a moment. I think this is my biggest critique of this game, and I like this game a lot. I think it's quite pretty, and I think it has an interesting story, and it's very pretty. Sometimes in the boss fights, the rot are, like, essential to winning, but, like, the window to activate them is so small. Ow. Welcome back, Britt. Also, the lock on. What? I'm stuck. I am legitimately stuck. He put me in the corner. I think I melted through a rock. Gotta love glitches. I've never been known to find any of those. Got a hit on it. Its glowing weak spot. Yes, rot, please. Thank you. See, the rot, when you can activate them, make it real easy. Oh, it's those statues of Taro and his siblings. Let's celebrate the win. Well, I still have a candy cane jelly bean to eat, so.
We leave offerings at the Guardian Tree, asking it to protect the ones we love. Taro left this for the children. He must have been so scared when he lost them. Many of the offerings here were placed by the first village leaders, skilled hunters who use spirit energy to create powerful weapons. I'm sure the Guardian Tree won't mind if we use them to help Taro.
Got a food offering. And a candy spin for Trekkie. This is going to be interesting. The more I eat, the closer they are to going to wait. No, I bought a second bag of these because they're just too perfect for the wheel, unfortunately. There are some things on the wheel where it's like, okay, this is fine to have once, and then when I run out, no more. And there are some things, like the Burnett Mega Sours, where it's like, I will keep rebuying these. Unfortunately, this is one of those. So right now, my mouth is like spicy, sour, minty, sugary. Like, it's a lot of flavors swirling around there right now. And now I get to have this. Oh. Oddly enough, it is not wiping it out. Especially not the mint. Smoky mint, not good. Woo! Oh. Oh. I just got a piece of bark. It just was like, Oh. And one of the worst parts is the pine cones just get stuck in between. Mage. It's simply called Mage. Excuse me, I did not say you could be. You healed? No, I'm the one who's supposed to be able to heal. And also, for the Souls like, this game has really weird healing rules. You have to find the flower. So,
I don't know what corruption waits for you in the Lantern Cave, but I suspect Taro's spirit will fight to the end.
yeah, one of these days I'm gonna have a dentist appointment after his stream. And of course it will be a stream where I will have had Pinecone.
Alright.
I'll have Pinecone stuck in my teeth and my dentist will be like, what is wrong with you?
Over there.
Dentist can get it all out during cleaning. Yeah.
Over there.
It's not gonna stop my dentist from going, what is wrong with you? Why are you eating pine cones? For the lols. Yeah.
A fox symbol is marked on this old camping gear.
You know, it's funny how different people react to what. Because some people react to me being a streamer and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And then people are like, you're a priest. And then others, it's the other way around. And others, it's both. Which was funny. I was just thinking, which would my dentist react to? For a long time, I had the dental care hygienist that I would see was like super Catholic and like super excited by that I was a priest. It's me again, hey love. Oh no, Taro! But like I had this experience when I was at TwitchCon. One of the booths in the exhibition floor, and I'll get to your case spins in just a moment, love, I promise. Thank you for those. He was like, he owns an investment firm kind of thing, and he was there just, and like he himself was a gamer apparently. We had a nice chat. But I talked to him about finances. I said, oh, you know, Sprees, it's a little bit different, but you know, what kind of advice would you give? Blah blah blah, kind of things like that. And he's like, so what are you doing here? It's like, oh, I'm also a streamer. Really? He reacted more to that, which made me laugh, especially because it was at TwitchCon. We did that one. We did, in fact, do that one. But that's the candy wheel sometimes gives twice. So licorice and a mega sour. I have a brand new bag of mega sours. But yeah, Britt, feel free to drop the prayer request in if you want me to pray. Just sort of hold them in intention. Let me know if you want to have a prayer intention here now. Exclamation mark prayer. That's kind of how like I visually differentiate like whether or not someone wants a prayer in the moment. Beyond behold a pale horse, its rider's name Dad. No, its rider's name is Love. I like Love. Love is Kai's mom. And I'm not doxing her when I say that, because they both share that very openly, I feel, from what I have experienced in both her chat and others. Only for today. Okay, fair enough. My right jaw. Those actually smell rancid. Have these gone off? September 2027. They shouldn't have. Anyway, this is a brand new bag. My right jaw just like seized up. You know, like when you eat sour candy and like sometimes your jaw tightens. Like it just did that reflexively from looking at this. And and who's affects your sense of smell? Yeah. Anyway. I forget how sour those are for the new. I forget how sour those are when they're brand new. Like, because I live in a humid environment, some of the sourness fades over time. Keep those prayer intentions by heart, Britt, for your priest friend and your friend coworker. You got Grant consolation and the rest of her grandpa. And now I have to add the licorice. I can't taste the licorice. No, never mind. I can taste the licorice. Orange and licorice is fine together, but I forget what these are supposed to be. Like what I'm... Oh, wait. I need to water that so that I can get the water thingy so I can break these. Yeah, orange and licorice, that's fine. Licorice and sour. I've had better. I've had worse.
There.
Yep. This is... The controls for this is a little weird because you have to control the spirits with one stick and Kina with the other. Oh. Licorice and sour. Cannot recommend. So how am I supposed to get... Hello? It's like a whole mine shaft down there. See, I don't think I can get these guys up this platform. No, I can't. Yeah. Oh, the bitterness of the... Ugh. Of the licorice is very real. Thank you everyone for the candy spins. Celebrate this Mardi Gras. Huh. Go save point / teleport point. I wonder if this is a boss fight arena. Oh yeah, that's a boss. Ow. Turns out the guy who's the size of a truck hits like a truck. And he is spawning a lot of minions. I shall name this boss Steve Guardian. Go get him. Go get him, guys, boys. Yeah. Ow. Quick. Time to heal. Ow. But who's Guardian Steve's Guardian? Who's gonna sign his permission slip for the field trip? Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. I want the rot to annoy him. Camera, camera, please. Camera, camera. Ow. That's quite the jump. Chip damage is still damage. First try. Let's go. Slaps hood of the mask. This baby can fit a whole lantern in it. Gotta head out. Help your mom get a couch. Nice. Yeah, you have less Len. Take care. Well, this made it quite far from where it's supposed to be. Look at that. We changed the weather. Hey, Mithril.
I found Taro's lantern. He must have lost it searching for the children.
Bring the relics to the fallen tree. It's time to help Taro find peace.
Am I gonna smack the piece into Taro? A pinecone hat. How weirdly fitting. Only on this stream would such a thing occur. Timing, indeed. Kid has redeemed a father joke. So it's at the hardware store. I was picking up some spray to take care of some flies in the house, and I asked the cashier, "Is this good for wasps?" And he said, "What are you? You crazy? Of course it's not good for wasps. It kills them." Thank you, thank you. I appreciate your responses. And all this is just to free Taro's spirit so that the twins will be like, oh, this is how you start your way up the mountain. Am I ready for the last round? I'm never ready, but you go ahead. That is 12 candy spins today. Thank you for the spins, Lov. I'll get to those after this cutscene. Oh! That's creepy. But I love the design, the incorporation of that his mask is there, but like there's more added to it. He has his knife, he has the lantern. You're interested in the Mega Sours? They are very sour. I enjoy sour candy, and it's the most sour candy I've ever had. Okay, vanilla milk, which I'm not even sure I'll taste at this point. And Kate, you were right. It just ain't right. That's why we're here. We're here to help free his spirit. Where do I get them? Amazon. They're British candy originally, but, you know, Amazon. This will be an interesting mix because Pulparindo is mango and spice and tamarind, and vanilla milk is what it says on the tin. Honestly, anything at this point will work because I can't taste it. Well, the problem with this is hard candy. Well, it's not supposed to be hard candy, but it is because I've had them for like 2 years. But it's supposed to be a chewy candy. Pilk, as the children call it. Pepsi milk. Oh. It's so stale, it's hard. No, let me shoot your shoulder. Ah! Woo, Christ! I can't taste the vanilla milk. No, I actually keep forgetting to do the pickle roulette. I have that bag, and I just keep forgetting it's there. Okay, so the purple spot on his shoulder is not a weak spot. It's the spot my little dudes are supposed to attack. But the lantern does stun him. Oh, I wasted the lantern. Woo! That Pulparindo feels extra spicy because at this point between all the spicy and sour and everything else, my throat's a little, like, messed up. Taro, let me help. Ow. Getting some good hits, getting some good hits. What was that attack? Ow! Ow! Sir! Oh dear, this is gonna hurt. Actually, that didn't hurt that bad. Although, his lantern finally respawned. I'm like, yeah, look. Haven't seen his lantern in a while. Rude. Is one of the health flowers ready? Yes, thank you. Yep, thank you. Ah! Let's go! Now I just have the vanilla Milliken. Trust me when I say it's not working. Hey, buddy.
The sickness that took our parents was spreading through the village.
Spirits of the forest, walk with our people. Guide them on their journey to the mountain shrine.
Food was running low. Everyone was scared. I never felt so helpless. Saya wanted to stay, but I thought we could go to Rusu for help. I was sure he would know what to do. Something was not right in the woods. I had never seen Rusu so worried. He sent us back to the village, and I knew we were alone. I was all that Benny and Saya had left. I had to protect them. It happened the next morning. The explosion from the mountain shrine covered the land in darkness.
Oh dear.
Oh no! No! Benny! Saya! Where are you? It lasted for days. I searched everywhere for them. I was their older brother. I was supposed to protect them. Even now, it's hard to forgive myself.
Taro, the children know how much you care for them. What happened in the village wasn't your fault. You will always be their older brother, and they still need you.
I'm sorry, Kina. We can't take you to the mountain shrine.
It's okay. You have to go now.
He doth
That was a lot of feels, and that was really beautiful, and doing a lot with few words and doing it, I don't want to say quickly, but in a way that like wrapped up that story arc nicely. Reuniting the family, letting them go on to the afterlife, the healing and forgiveness for Taro, and that scene of like the blue light with the shrine, like that was just visually very beautiful. Yeah, it conveyed a lot with a little, and I like it. And it's one thing I think happens a lot in secular games like this that can be done well. You know, I don't want to say universally, but like we saw this in Spiritfarer as well. When you have these moments that are liminal between life and death, trauma and what I would call resurrection or healing, like scenes like that can do a lot and really speak, I think, to our need. And you know, I think this is, you know, spoiler alert, as a priest, I believe in what the Catholic Church teaches and the Christian faith, and so our need of a savior and of that resurrection, it speaks to that need in our hearts, and that longing that I think a lot of people feel in games like this through the beauty of artistry tap into it. So it was really good storytelling. And that's just the beginning. That's the first spirit, essentially. We still need to get up to the mountain shrine, and we know now. Like, we didn't really know why Kina was going, I think, if I remember correctly. But we know now that something is really wrong, and we need to go do something about it. Because we are in the right place at the right time, and Kina has the ability. We get the sense that she's pretty new at her job in a sense. You know, she's not a seasoned spirit guide, but this also isn't quite her first rodeo, but she's still pretty new, is the sense I get. So I still don't know why these guys are called Rot. They're too cute. But that was really well done. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful way to tie up the story of Taro, Benny, and Saya. And that is where we're going to call it for the day. So that is perfect timing as well. So thanks so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with you all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you for all the candy spins. 12. Not a record. I think we got to 16 on this 12-hour stream. Maybe it was a little more. Maybe it was about the same. I forget. Anyway, it was a lot. It was certainly up there. Join us again tomorrow for Midweek Minecraft. Fat Tuesday, yeah. I'm feeling the fat. But Midweek Minecraft, working on the church tomorrow. It's Ash Wednesday. So that should be fun. No stream Thursday. I'm flying out to LA. It's gonna be fun. Then on Monday, I should be back. I've got a red eye, but it's a flight from LA, so it's like 6 hours. So I should get enough sleep, and then I come home and I should be able to just go straight to bed and get some more sleep. And I don't have anything scheduled until the afternoon. So we should be able to stream next Monday, but we may not, depending on, you know, if I get sick or something. You never know what happens on planes. But that will be Kingdom Hearts 3. We'll be starting Kingdom Hearts 3 proper. Tuesday, more Kina, because we are not done. That was not the end of the game. That was just the first chapter. And then Minecraft, and then Thursday, Super Mario World. And we'll find time to do the bonus stream. That will still happen, I promise. But yeah, so thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Let's see who's live that we can raid into. I'm going to send you on over to Wilpog. I already see that Trekkie's there. Raid call is Father Raid. Go give Will some love. He's a nice guy. Playing some Arc Raiders. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. God bless.